Hi, I'm Chris James and welcome to Cooking with Chris. Today we're going to be preparing an alkaline grilled stuffed burrito. All right, so you can use any type of mushroom you want. I'm going to be using oyster mushroom. You can also use trumpet mushrooms. We're going to be using coconut milk, pico de gallo, chickpeas, zucchini, sun-dried tomatoes, quinoa, green onion, avocado, oil, grapeseed oil if you can get it, balsamic vinaigrette, agave, sea salt, ginger, basil, thyme, onion powder, smoked paprika, oregano, and cayenne. All seasonings are optional, but I'm just going to show you how I make mine. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is start with the quinoa. You just take 1 cup of quinoa, and we're going to add that to a hot pan. You want to get the quinoa toasted, and then you just turn it up to high or whatever and just toast the quinoa. Then you're going to add 2 cups of water, and after that you're going to get it boiling. Okay, so you get it boiling. I actually like to add my seasonings first, but I did it in reverse. So we're going to be adding a teaspoon of ginger, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then just like a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne if you want it, optional of course. And then, of course, probably about 3 teaspoons of salt. And I did add some mixed vegetables to my quinoa just because I had the extra stuff. Now you're going to take your green onions, add them to a blender bowl, any pepper that you want, or you can omit that. And then you're going to do 1/2 can of the coconut milk, or if you use my ice cream recipe, you can also use the coconut cream. And then a teaspoon of sea salt, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then you're just going to blend that all up, and feel free to season to taste. You can add more or less different seasonings. Now that we've got our green sauce, we're going to cut up our zucchini, and we're just going to cut it up into spears. Pretty simple. We're going to go ahead and cut up the mushrooms as well while we're at it. I like to cut mine kind of thin and straight. You could dice it, it doesn't really matter. It's more of a texture thing than anything else. And we're going to marinate the zucchini. So we're going to be using a tablespoon of oil, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, a teaspoon of ginger, 2 teaspoons of basil, and about a cup of water. And then a tablespoon of the balsamic vinaigrette. And then of course you just kind of mix that all up, toss your spears in there, and you're gonna let them marinate for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then we're gonna add some of that green sauce to a container and throw our mushrooms in there and let those marinate for about 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't really matter. They absorb pretty quick, so you don't have to let them marinate that long. That's just kind of how long I did it based on other stuff I was doing. Now we've got the avocados. We're going to cut one of them open, pull out the green flesh, add it to a bowl along with however much pico de gallo you want. Really, it's up to you. And however much salt you want. You can start with a teaspoon, add more if you want. I also like to add onion powder and smoked paprika to mine, and I just do a teaspoon of each. And then I just do a squeeze of 1/2 of a lime. Then I'm going to take my marinated mushrooms over to a hot pan, add some of the marinade from the zucchini to it, and let that cook down. Now you cut X's into your tomatoes, and you only need about 4 or 5 tomatoes for this sauce, or you can make more, it doesn't matter. You're gonna bring them to a boil, put them in the boiling water for about a minute, and then after that you're gonna take them out and put them in a cold bowl of water. The skin will pop off. So then you're gonna take the skinless tomatoes, add them to a blender cup, along with about a 1/4 cup of an onion, and then diced onion, and then a teaspoon of oil and a teaspoon of balsamic vinaigrette. And then we're going to add a teaspoon or 2 of the smoked paprika, a teaspoon or 2 of the onion powder, a teaspoon or 2 of the basil, and then about 3 teaspoons of sea salt, a teaspoon of agave, And then here I ran out of oregano, but you can add a teaspoon of oregano as well. And then with the cayenne, you want to be careful, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of the thyme. Now you blend it up. Here's your sauce. You're going to add your chickpeas, which I recommend, dry chickpeas, but I just, for the sake of doing this, I use canned. Add the sauce to the chickpeas, and then add a little bit of your green sauce in there too. And it's really up to you how much sauce you add. It depends on how much, how wet you want them. I also like to mash my chickpeas up just a little bit to give them a little texture. And then here we are building the burrito, adding our quinoa mixture. Like I said, I put some mixed vegetables in there, our mushrooms. Spread it all evenly so that each bite has a little bit of everything. I add 2 of those spears. You can add 3 or 4, doesn't matter. Add your delicious chickpea sauce and your guacamole. Spread it all evenly, guys. Spread it all evenly. Take some of your special green sauce and spread that on there. I just love these things to be very flavorful. Then I like to chop up 2 slices of avocado, throw that in there, spread that out. Well, actually, I think I put 3 slices on this bad boy because it was pretty big. It depends on how big your wraps are. And then the sun-dried tomatoes, you add those. You can omit them if you don't want them. I think they add a nice special taste. Then you're going to wrap this bad boy up. All right. And once you've got it all wrapped up, you're going to place it in a hot cast iron pan or whatever you've got. And just let it sit on the hot surface for about 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. You could check it. You'll see here in a second when I flip mine, the color you're going for. It's just like a brown skin, a light brown skin. Just to seal it. That's really all it's doing. And also, it adds a little bit different texture. You can omit this process if you want, but I like to do it. And you're just going to do it on both sides. Then once it's ready, you're going to take it over to your cutting board. You're going to get your chef knife and you're going to slice this monster open. You'll get to see all the beautiful goodness inside. This is probably the 3rd time I've made these. They're very, very good. You can also use this to make tacos if you don't have wraps. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power, and I will see you guys next time.